Welcome to Priscilla's Kitchen. My name is Priscilla Umeda and I make quick and tasty foods. Today I'm all about keeping it real, Christmas style in Nigeria. So let's go. First I'm going to tell you, different tribes in Nigeria uses different proteins, but what is most pronounced where I come from is hen. Now it's not going to be the farm raised type. These are free rangers and that are very nutritious, very tasty. What today the globe is going into the organic type. I will give you a tip. Traditionally, when you make this hen, you would have to keep the gizzard, the heart, and all the 9 years that comes, with it, because this is what our men eat. When you prepare this food, they want to see where these parts are. If you don't have these parts, I promise you the elders won't eat it, or your father won't eat it. So if you are making it in your home, this is for your father. This part is for your father. So the hens are, or whatever protein we use, whether it's goats or hen, we traditionally use hen. They have to be cut the same day. They have to be roasted over open flame, so that way the skin is charred, and then it gives you that smoky gamey flavor again that you get from hen. Very traditional, very natural. Okay, now this is my take. I have cut it into chunk, smaller size portions. Normally it is cut in according to the parts, and then we divide or share it after it's cooked. But I'm making it very easy for myself, but keeping the authenticity. Now what I've done is I baked this off rather than roasting, since I don't have an open flame in my house. I baked this off and I got a little bit of char in it. Now some people fry. I don't like to fry, because the frying does not mimic the flavor. This here, I still keep all authenticity that I can get. Now here, Nigeria also enjoys long grain brown rice. It has to be this rice. Believe me, if you cook basmati or jasmine rice, they're not going to eat it. When in my restaurant, people always say, "Madam, where is Nigerian rice?" When I try to offer them any rice different from this. So this is typically the type of rice we use in Nigeria, and especially my tribe. Here we go. This, I am a woman that preps myself ahead of time. That way cooking is very easy. This is a combination of garlic and ginger that I always chop and put it in a bowl. Makes my cooking very easy all the time. Is my staple. And of course, I'll show you how we do it. We use Roma tomatoes. It cannot be any other tomato. It has to be Roma tomatoes. And as you can see, this is very red. It won't be those green, somewhat yellow, sickly looking tomatoes that you see. No. From farm to table. That's how we go. And then you have red bell pepper. You and I know this is very nutritious. So we do less in our cooking back home than people are doing, trying to showcase. And of course, onion. Now my preference this time is a sweet onion, because lots of onions and this pepper here makes the difference. So I have 2 Scotch bonnet here. I'm just going to rip it up and put it in a blender. Traditionally, we don't use blender, as you know, mortar pestle, and then you pound away. So I have onions and I have red bell pepper and I have Roma tomatoes. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm just going to rip it and put it here. The tomatoes are going to go like that. Just going to squish it in here. And I'm going to blend away. Thank God, whoever made blender, you have made our lives easy. You have no idea. It used to be that you will pound this thing until it's very smooth, and it still has to be very smooth. Okay, so if you watch well, you're going to see a little bit of liquid there. That is just to get the machine running. The fact that these vegetables are full of moisture, I don't want a lot of liquid, because then also it facilitates the stewing process. FYI, as you know, Nigeria or Africa generally, we do a lot of stewing. We do lots of stewing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend this down. As it comes down, then I'm going to add the onions. So the next will be the onions. All I did was just chop it and chop to make it easy for easy blending. And here we go. And that's what we have. Now guess what? We have or we don't have to use tomato paste. Some people don't. I do, and we also do in my village where I come from, because it gives the stew a little more body. Now, there is a ratio that you need to know about using fresh tomatoes and the tomato paste. If you have more tomato paste, the stew is going to go darker red, it's going to be thicker, and then you're going to have more acidity to it, which we don't. Remember, we don't cook with sugar, so because we don't cook with sugar, you reduce anything that is going to be too tangy in what you cook in Nigeria. So here, this is how I cook. In this pan here, just so you know, I used, my preference today is olive oil. You could use vegetable oil or canola oil, but please, it's very important, do not use so much oil. You don't need all of that oil, you know, in the stew. So what I do is I let this tomato paste go in, and then I stir. The whole idea is I want this to cook a little bit before the fresh one comes in. So the tomato paste has cooked a little bit, and as you can see, it's red. So now in goes the fresh one. A lot of people leave it at this point and let this whole thing cook for too long before they go to the next step. Believe me, I don't have time to waste in the kitchen, and at the end of this cooking, you're going to find same thing will be just here. So see, the hen goes in. I'm going to add all the hen because this is stewing. So if we are stewing, you need all of these ingredients in here. That way the whole flavors will marry. That's the whole idea of stewing. Plus the chicken is the hen, I'm sorry, excuse me. The hen is a tough cut of meat, because as you know, because they're free rangers, they are tough, you know, lots of muscle. So a little bit of liquid with all the juice of that hen goes in here. So you want it to braise for a while, and braising simply means is the cooking technique that we use to cook tougher cuts of meat. So at this point, I'm going to add my garlic. Now the Yorubas, I don't know if they traditionally use garlic and ginger, but I do, and we do, because my mom grows grows garlic and ginger too. So now herbs de Provence is my preference of herbs. Traditionally back home, this is mostly how it is, you know. You don't have to add herbs. If you don't have it, don't even worry about it. So my goal today is to just let you know that you can cook with whatever budget you have. Now Nigerians are huge with curry powder. It has to be an authentic one. So I'm going to add a little bit of. This is exactly my memory growing up, what Christmas is all about. A communal time where friends, we had no enemies. Now I see a lot of people also like all-purpose seasoning, but guys, I am still that traditional woman who prefers Hanor cubes. Just want to make sure that I'm remembering the right food and the right time and all the events that takes place during Christmas period. I'll tell you a little history of how we make Christmas. First, you wake up first thing in the morning. Every single soul looks forward to this. Actually, the cities are desolate during this period because folks will be shopping. You know, people would have saved just for this, you know, and there is no limitation to what kind of protein you can have. If you can afford hen, you can afford fish. I've seen people use ice fish. We have even done it sometime too, you know, so it depends on what is available. It is not what it is now. It is a time where people, families gather together, friends, people that you haven't seen for a long time, they all come to the village, and then you see them and you all, you know, are happy. This is why I'm appealing to Nigeria. Please let there be peace. We used to live a communal lifestyle. We used to be happy. We used to love one another. I remember when people travel outside the country, leave Nigeria for outside the country, whether for studies or so, the entire village will not go to farm. They will celebrate the person. That's what Christmas is about. It has to stew to the point where the meat is cooked. Say about 20 to 25 minutes. So guess what? I know you're already familiar with how we make rice. I already had done a video before. You wash your long gray brown rice until the water runs clear. Boil your water and then put it in there and let it, you know, simmer until the rice is tender. I don't want to labor in the kitchen, but at the same time, I want to enjoy whatever is the event or function or that meal without stressing. Now, one thing you must know is our ratio is more carbohydrate to protein. Now, time has changed. In my kitchen, I cook differently. I cook vegetable and I try to balance it. But once in a while, when I'm remembering tradition and my heritage, I do it just as we used to do. And it's not a reflection of how much rich I am or not rich. This is keeping it real and just keeping tradition alive. You never want to overcook. We don't cook meat till they fall off the bone. That's not tradition. That's not Nigerian way. Believe me, we don't do that. If you even make it too soft, they think you're making it for a kid. And I guarantee you the elders won't eat it. You want to make sure it's tender, but it's not falling off the bone either. And you know what? Realistically, I must be honest. You don't get, not one person cannot get this much meat. And I could tell you, in some homes, this hen would have been enough for every single soul. That if the family, if the count in the family is 10, they're gonna share it amongst 10. And it doesn't matter if it's a little portion each person gets. Everybody is happy. That's the key. Everybody is happy, everybody enjoys what's going on, and everybody, you know, visits friends and bring friends and families home. You wonder what that is. This is another way we celebrate Christmas. We have traditional yams that we cut and cook. Now, so I have an option of enjoying this yam with stew or rice and stew. The other thing that complements this would have been plantain. Let me tell you how we do this yam. Then I'll go here with my hands, as you can see, no fork, no knife. Thank you for dining with me. Merry Christmas.